David Riggs, author William Marcellus. Once upon a time, there was an orphan boy called David Riggs. He was on the way to see his enemy Paul Tiger when he decided to take a chair out through New Swamp. It wasn't long before David got lost. He looked around, but all he could see were trees. Deliberately, he fell into his bath for his favorite toy, Dark Forest. But Dark Forest was nowhere to be found. David began to panic. He felt sure he had picked Dark Forest. To make matters worse, he was starting to feel hungry. Suddenly, he saw a giant ogre dressed in a maroon dungaree disappearing into the trees. How odd, through Davy. 41 to anything better to do. I decided to follow the peculiarly dressed ogre. Perhaps it could tell him the way out of the forest. Eventually, David reached a clearing. He found himself surrounded by houses made from different sorts of food. There were a house made from jewels, a house made from unicorns, a house made from wine, a house made from meat, and a house made from biscuit. The big feel his to miserably look at the house did nothing to ease his hunger. Hello, he called. Is anybody there? Nobody replied. David looked at the roof on the closed house and wondered if it were he wrote to it somebody also chiming. Obviously, it would be impolite to eat a whole house, but perhaps it would be considered unacceptable to nibble the odd feature or like the odd feeding in a time of need. A cake broke through the air, giving Davy a fright. I was jumping into the space in front of the house. She was carrying a cake. In the cake was Dark Forest. Dark Forest? Shout Davy here. Turn to the witch. That's my toy. The witch just jerked. Give Dark Forest back, cried Davy. Not on your Nelly, sighed the witch. I let the Dark Forest out of the cake before she could reply for Gianoga, reaching in front of a footpath on the other side of the clearing. They recognized the one in the maroon dungarees that she seen earlier the witch seemed to recognize him too. Hello, Bioga, sighed the witch. Good morning, Dioga, not is Dark Forest. What is this? That's Dark Forest, explaining the witch. Oh, Dark Forest would look lovely in my house. Greek to me, demanded the ogre. The witch here hid, therefore he's starting with me. Ah, excuse me, they've interrupted. Therefore is like with me and nodding and Kate. The ogre nodding him. Is there nothing? You're right? He asked the witch. The witch threw for a moment, then sighed, I do like to be entertained. I realized him to anybody who can eat a whole front door. Bioga looked at the house made from biscuit and sighed, no problem. I could eat an entire house made from biscuit if I want to do. You want to? That's nothing, sighed the next ogre. I could eat two house. There's no need to have, sighed the witch. Just eat one front door and I already had that forest. David was feeling very worried. He didn't want the ways to give that forest to Big Ogre. He didn't think that forest was like living with a giant ogre, away from his house and all his other toys. The other three ogres watched while Big Ogre put on his big band, withdrew a knife and fork from his pocket. I'll eat this whole house, sighed Bioga. Just watch. Bioga pulled off a corner of the front door of the house made from unicorn. He opened it down, smiled, and went back for more and more and more. Eventually, Bioga started to get bigger, just a little bit bigger. I feared, but after a few more forkfuls, of, of, of unicorn. He grew to the size of a little snow white, and he was every bit as round. I don't feel too good, sighed Bioga. Suddenly, he started to roll haygrounds around that he could no longer balance. Help! He cried as he rolled off down as slow into the forest. Bioga never finished eating. The front door made from unicorn and dark forest remained trapped in the witch cake. Bioga stepped up and approached the house made from wine. I already whole house I Abiraoga just you watch. Abiraoga pulled off a corner of the front door on the house made from wine. She got back down a smile and went back for me. And more and more. After a while, Abiraoga started to look at little crazy. She grew greener and greener. I walked away into the clearing. What is the box doing here? He asked. I am not a batch. I am an ogre. Say a bit of ogre. A dog exclaiming the worker. Those talking butcher are the world's king. I I better take a way before somebody get hurt. No way, cried a bit of ogre as the worker because her one. But the worker ignored his cries and carried the ogre away under his arm. Abiraoga never finished eating the front door made from wine, and therefore remained tray in the biscuit. Little Olga stepped up and approached the house made from meat. I will eat this whole house, sighed little Olga. Just you wax. Little Olga pulled off a corner of the front door of the house made from meat. He gulped it down and smiled. I went back for more, and more, and more. After 5 or 6 plateful, little Olga started to figure uncomfortably on the spot. He stopped eating me for a moment, then grabbed another forkful. But before he could eat it, there came a mirror root, a button poor loader, than a root taken off properly later, Olga into the sky. Ugh! Cried little Olga, I am scared of ache. Little Olga was never seen again. Little Olga never finished eating the front door made from meat, and the forest remained trapped in the witch cave. Tiny Olga stopped out and approached the house made from biscuit. I read this whole house, Tiny Olga. Just to watch. Tiny Olga pulled off a corner of the front door of the house made from biscuit. She got pretty down and smiled and went back for more, and more, and more. However, on the next mouthful, the fold a fuel straight out of the tiny Olga mouth. The tray so stuffed in another forkful of biscuit, but once again the food fell out. Did just once enough room, letting her belly. This is just not fair, declared Tinioga, and stopped off into the forest. Tinioga never finished eating the fourth door made from biscuit, and therefore remained trapped in the witch cave. That is, said the witch, I win, I get to keep the forest. Not so fast, said David. There is still one front door to go, the front door of the house made from Jews, and haven't I had turn yet. I don't have to give you a turn, loud the weeks may gain my rules. The Wakuri boys carried through the forest. I think you'll give him a chance. It is only fair. Fine, say the weeks, but you saw what happened to the ogre the one last long. I'll be right back, said Davy. What, said the weeks? What is your serious impatience? I threw you one dart for his back. David ignored the weeks and gathering a few pile of the sticks, he came back to the clearing and started the small campfire. Careful, he broke off a piece of the door on the house made from Jews and tossed it over the fire. Once it could cool just a little, he took a bite and quickly devoured the whole piece. David sat down on a neighbor lawn. You five calculated weeks. You were supposed to eat the whole door. I haven't finished explaining, David. I am just waiting for food to go down. When David Food had digested broke of another piece of the door made from Jews, once more to toss his foot over the fire and wait for it to cool. Just a little, I ate it a leisurely pace, the way for 42 digits. Eventually, after several feeding, David was down to final piece of the door made from Jewish. Careful to the hitus, didn't allow it cool just a little. He finished his final course. David had eaten the entire food door of the house made from Jewish. The wisdom some prefer food hungrily. You must have tried me. She said, I don't reward cheating. I don't think so, sighed a voice. It was Dick Wakure. He walked back into the clearing, carrying his eggs. This little boy won fire and square. No one over their forest, or I will chop your bronze fall. The waves looked horrified. She grabbed her broomstick and placed it behind her. The honey she opened the door of the case. David hurried over and grabbed Dark Forest, checking that his favorite toy was alright. Fortunately, Dark Forest was Hunmer. Hunmer. David think the Wakure grabbed a quick souvenir and hurried on to me, Paul. It was starting to get dark when David got to Paul's house. His enemy threw her arm around him. I was so worried, cried Paul. You are very late. As David described his day, he could the Paul. Didn't believe Heinz saw the grab and naked from his pocket. What is that? Asked Paul. David unwrapped a doorknob made from unicorn, putting his side palm almost fell off her chair.